You're listening to the Wanderlust Swingers podcast with Aussie hosts Kate and Daryl. If you're curious about exploring your sexuality or the swinging, hot wifing and non-monogamous lifestyle, you've definitely come to the right podcast. Or maybe you just love travel adventures. Either way, we share our personal, sometimes juicy, sexy stories as well as swingers club and event reviews, interviews with other sassy people, and of course our global swinging adventures. We try to bring you a look into the diverse lifestyle that the swinging and non-monogamous community has. We hope you enjoy. Now let's get into the episode. G'day guys and welcome to episode 137, Why Women Have No Type. Yes, it is a clickbait title. I'm not going to lie. On today's episode, we are going to be discussing about the fact that it's extremely difficult to be the right kind of wing person for your significant other when you really don't know what their type is. Do women actually have a type, or is it really all in the personality, as a lot of women say, right? It's about the personality for them. So in today's episode, we're going to explore if men and women have a type, what you said about your type, and then we're going to share our type. But before we get onto that, Daryl, cultural tidbit.
I'm excited. I'm looking forward to it.
I'm actually a little bit excited about this one. So I did my cultural...
You always are about all of them.
That's actually true. I did my cultural tidbit on Paris because we are also going to talk a little bit about the club we visited in Paris because we haven't done a review on that yet and we just want to give you some information. So my cultural tidbit is about Paris. By 1810, Paris alone had 180 officially approved brothels. By law, they had to be run by women, typically a former prostitute, and their external appearance had to be discreet. Did you know that?
No.
Back in the day, brothlots had to be run by women in Paris.
Back in the day?
What do you think?
I think it's a little bit sexist.
You do?
Yeah, I mean, what if a gigolo wants to run his own brothel?
To be fair, though, back in 1810, do you think women really had a lot of rights and opportunities in business in general?
In France? No idea. I'd have to look it up.
You'd have to look it up?
Yeah, because many countries, women did have quite a lot of rights in that era, but I don't know about France.
Yeah. In 1810?
Could have.
All right.
Could have. You just never know. You need to look it up.
I have a couple more cultural tidbits because...
but you said only one.
Yeah, no, I lied.
You don't want to waste them.
I lied, though.
Okay.
It is illegal to kiss whilst the train is at the platform.
In France?
In Paris, because years ago... and then many years ago.
People just fucking holding up people.
People were holding up the trains, and like kissing out the window and on the platform. So there was a law passed that prohibits anybody from kissing
on the platform.
Fair because enough. Of that, they wouldn't want to hold up the train.
Ludicrous.
Timetables, all right, they mean something to people in Paris. I have one more thing.
The city of love.
I have one more thing I want to share. It's train related. It's not sex related.
You do love a bit of train work, don't you?
But I thought it was pretty funny.
Okay.
Are you ready?
Yes.
It is illegal to carry live snails on a French high-speed train unless they have a ticket.
Well, I'm not surprised. I mean,
you're not surprised by the by the fact that the snails are prohibited on a high-speed train, but they can go on the regional overland
I'm just
ones.
Actually thinking about if you're a snail, right, and then you
had your house on your back.
Of course. I mean, where else would you put it?
I'm just saying.
And then all of a sudden, you're travelling at 400 kilometres an hour. Mm-hmm. I mean, you're likely going to need to use the restroom facilities because you're going to shit yourself. So with that in mind,
they need a ticket.
They need a ticket so that they can
pay.
Pay for the restroom facilities.
Okay.
I mean, snails are notoriously fucking slow, right? I mean, that's what they're known for,
right.
And their house. Slow and house.
Right.
So, yeah, put them on a high-speed train.
Put them on a high-speed train?
Going to soil themselves.
No good.
No. Their house doesn't have a toilet built into it either. Did you know that? Snails' houses, they have like a little outhouse.
Never really thought about it.
Yeah, they don't have anywhere to poo in their own house.
It's unfortunate.
I think it's just pretty poorly designed.
It is a little bit.
Yeah.
Get your shit together, snails. So on our way down to Cap d'Agde in France, and you would have heard us talking about Cap d'Agde in the last 2 episodes, but we stopped in Paris for a few days and we went to a club in Paris.
We did.
We looked up the various clubs. A lot of people, if you Google swingers clubs in Paris, you're going to come across one. I think it's called Le Chandelier or something like that. That's probably the most prevalent one that people talk about. And the reason they talk about it is because they do food there and they say go and get the food early, which I'm not a big fan of food at swingers clubs, never have been, will continue not to be. So we didn't go there.
Glad we summed that up.
Instead, we looked on the Google reviews and decided that recently that club had
slid downhill and
had some pretty shitty Google reviews. So we decided to go to a new club, or fairly new club. It's called Le Masque.
Le Masque. I wonder what Le Masque means.
What does it mean, Daryl? Can you translate that for everybody at home?
No.
Okay. Too difficult to translate.
It's impossible. I don't think there is a direct translation for Le Masque.
Look, it was in the city centre, so really, really close, and it was about €80 to get in. Is that about right by memory? About €80?
Sounds about right.
The drinks, however, were €20.
About €80 each.
Were €20 each for a glass of wine, which is insane.
It was less than ideal, especially given you're a booze hag.
Well, we only had one wine.
I know.
So,
but that's because you're a tight booze hag.
That's right. I ain't paying $20. €20 for a glass of wine.
It was expensive.
It was.
Expensive. Yeah.
So I want to just, I don't want to go too much into this particular club, but I want to give you guys an understanding of what the clubs are like in Europe and particularly what this one's like in Paris. If you Google Paris swingers clubs, you're going to see a lot of information about how you have to be very well dressed, how they are very picky and selective, how they do not accept people that they deem to be inappropriate for the club. So whether that's to do with your physical appearance, whether it's to do with your monetary, your socioeconomic background, that's generally the information that you'll get when you...
How do they get your socioeconomic background?
By charging a lot of money. So the assumption there is that if they charge a higher price, they're going to get a certain level of...
Gotcha.
Right. So you'll hear about that. And one of the things that you'll read about is the fact that women in particular cannot wear pants or trousers. It doesn't matter if you're going to be rocking your latex, really nice like pants and beautiful high heels. That doesn't matter. You can't do that. You're going to wear a dress.
Yeah.
Have to wear a dress. Women have to wear a dress. Men must be in dress shoes, trousers, collared shirt.
Yep.
Right, the whole thing.
Yes.
And that's true. That's true to form. Like, they will actually stop you from going in. So when we walked into this place, one of the things I really liked was the scent. Do you remember that?
No, I don't. Was it aromafied?
No, they had a lot of scent being pumped into the room and the area, which...
So they aromafied it?
Yeah.
Okay.
I don't think I've actually experienced that at a swingers club before.
No, me neither. Generally, it's just the smell of sex.
And feet.
And bad dreams. Broken dreams.
Lost hopes. No, they pumped in this beautiful scent, and so when you walk in the door and they have these beautiful velvet curtains there.
That's what they were paying for. That's what you were paying for.
That's what you're paying for. You're paying for the scent to be pumped in. It added a nicety to the atmosphere, I thought.
A level of what? I mean, it depends on whether you're into the scent, really. If it was a shit scent.
Yeah.
I don't mean literally the smell of shit, but just more.
If it was like lavender and lavender reminds you of your grandmother's clothing drawer.
Or if it was peanut and you're allergic to peanuts, for example.
Yeah.
That would be bad.
So they had the scent pumped in. Other things of note, they had a massive candy bar there, which I thought was a little bit strange. But good lollies. Good lollies. We took some home. Well, I took some home. I was going to say I didn't partake in that.
No, you didn't get any.
I did see a couple of women actually going to town.
Yeah, there were a few people who went to town.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I'm not surprised.
That was pretty good and was like really nicely set up. The other things about this club that I really liked was the layout of the peephole / viewing hole area. Can you kind of break it down what that was like?
Yes, it was. I suppose you had the best way to put it is like booths around the outside of the area, and then with big walls in between some of the booths, and then they had holes in them that allowed you to potentially crawl through or crawl through to somebody else's booth. And, or you could watch what they were doing in their booth as well. It was interesting.
Did you like that layout?
I thought it was reasonably cool. I think it's got its potential for downside, but it's also got its potential for up. The downside is you still are somewhat divided, so it may stop people from chatting, getting involved as much. But there's also a little bit of privacy, pseudo-privacy, if you want to start doing some shit right there.
I absolutely agree. I think that if you had a bigger space, bigger club, and you had a better open room for, some of that easier networking, kind of talking to people.
You could do that at the bar though, really, if you wanted to.
I didn't think that there was a big enough space there.
The bar was a whole space to itself before you went into that room. Remember?
Yeah, I remember. I didn't think there was enough space there if you're going to try and do that.
You could eat a candy whilst drinking a wine at the bar space.
Yeah, but I liked it. I think it added an element of, again, a sensual atmosphere. I think it also added that area where you could play with people and have a little bit of privacy, but then if you are an exhibitionist, you can have that aspect of it too. And again, if you're going there because you're a voyeur, that's good for you as well. So I thought it was pretty good, pretty well designed. I wouldn't mind seeing that in some of the clubs, some of the bigger clubs. I would like to see kind of that sort of set up in an area. That'd be nice.
Yep.
But we'll see.
For when you own a club.
For when I own a club.
Yep.
And then downstairs had your usual thing, kind of had the bed, had the St. Andrew's Cross, had the dungeon style. Overall, what did you think about the club? Did you like it?
Yeah, I thought it was really quite cool.
What would you say were like the biggest pros and biggest cons of the club?
The biggest pros were that it was really quite a classy, it felt quite classy, like a classy environment, sexy. Although the drinks were expensive, they were also made by a proper, like a bartender or a...
Can't really go wrong with pouring wine into a glass, though, in my opinion.
You're talking about wine. I was drinking cocktails because, fuck money. So I was drinking cocktails because there wasn't anything else on the list that I was really into. And, they had a real person making proper cocktails. They weren't just somebody throwing spirits or liquor into a glass and calling it a cocktail. They actually tasted right. So I think that was a pretty big upside. Downside, the only thing's probably it's small, but that's not really a surprise given that it's in the centre of Paris.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, it's a very expensive piece of property right there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So I think overall we spent about 160 because we had...
I don't remember.
Yeah, 160 euros. What do you think about the downstairs dungeon area? Do you think that was a positive to have that little downstairs area? I think it was good. My only con about that sort of situation is that you've got no idea how many people are down there, who's down there and what action's down there until you go down there.
Yeah, I think that might be a turn on for a lot of people.
Yeah, you think so?
Yeah.
So what's a con of the club for you then?
The size.
The size.
Yeah.
Okay.
It's small. I mean, if you had 100 people in there, you'd all be touching each other.
Yeah. That's true. Would you go back? I would.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah, I thought it was, it's absolutely worthwhile going back to. I don't know, were we in the right frame of mind to be there that night?
Probably not. I don't think so. I think we were heading down to Cap d'Agde. I think that we were tired. We didn't get there until, I think, 11:30 at night or midnight.
Yeah, it was late.
Very late.
Right.
And I think you had to work the next day, if I'm not wrong.
Yep.
So I think all of those things were probably not great. And then, of course, there is a language barrier that you've got to come up against as well.
I don't think that was a problem in there because we didn't talk to anyone. So did we? We didn't actually talk to anyone from my memory.
No, I don't think we did either.
So how's the language barrier problem?
True. All right, guys, we're going to take a quick break and then we're going to come back and we're going to start talking about your type, my type, everyone's type.
Okay.
Tappity type type.
Tippity type type.
All right, welcome back. So, are women actually really picky or are we just not allowed to like someone? Yeah, you're giving me the
I don't understand.
confused look on your face, right?
Yeah.
Exactly. So, when you're growing up or when you're watching movies or reading newspapers, who reads newspapers? When you're reading magazines, there's the old adage of bad boys, you can't take a bad boy home to mummy kind of thing, right? And women like the bad boys, but they want to settle for the good men because they're the ones that you marry. What's that old?
No idea.
No.
You're telling a story, bro.
I've been pondering this for a while, whether or not women are picky, whether or not women, a lot of women, they say, I don't have a type. I don't know what I like. I don't have a type. It's all about the personality. It's about the humor. It's about the guy in the night. I really can't give you a description about what I'm chasing. And oftentimes the partner is a bit confused because they're like, well, she's sleeping with all these different kinds of people. How the hell am I supposed to pick somebody who I think that she might be interested in? And especially when a lot of the time the men are the kind of the first initial point or the gatekeepers on the dating sites. So if you're a guy and you have no idea what your partner looks for in a man or partner, how the hell are you supposed to find somebody on a dating site that you think they may or may not be interested in?
You just use the shotgun effect. That's basically what everyone does, I would think.
Yeah, that's what you think? A lot of people just go, okay, I'm going to reach 50 people and she might like one of them, so I'm going to go on 50 dates and then...
Yeah.
You think people do that?
Yeah.
I don't. I really don't. I think that when guys are out there looking at profiles, they are trying to ascertain whether or not their partner is going to be interested in the opposite sex of the other couple.
Okay.
Yeah. I know you're doing things a little bit differently because we went on a blind date the other night and...
2.
Yeah. Well, 1, because somebody ghosted us, or didn't ghost us, they just didn't turn up. So interestingly enough, I've been pondering this for a while, trying to figure out whether women really do have a type, whether we say personality matters what. And I was reading some information in the American Psychological Association and the Journal of Personality and Social Psychology.
Jeez. It's the first and last time our podcast is ever going to include something like that.
And they said in there that the hormones are a driving force into why women are attracted to certain types of men, especially bad boys. And when women are ovulating, they're more likely to be drawn to sexually attractive qualities such as specific facial features and dominant behaviors.
This sounds like it was written by men.
You reckon?
Yeah. It sounds very much like it was written by men.
Interesting.
Don't trust a paper that's written about women by men.
Okay.
That's like a rule.
It's mansplaining?
This is mansplaining hormonal cycles in women. This is too dangerous for me to talk about. I don't want to be mansplaining anything.
Fine.
Cunts will fucking string me up.
They talk about the traits that you lust after versus the ones that you love. And this kind of comes back to what I was saying before about the fact that women apparently will date the bad boy.
Is this a fucking peer-reviewed paper? Where did you get to that?
The American Psychological Association's Journal of...
No, that's a peer-reviewed paper. I'm blown away. I'm blown away that somebody got paid for this. Fuck.
Fair enough. So if I was to ask you if you could pick my type, could you? Could you pick my type? And what percentage of times do you think you could pick my type?
I think I could pick 100% of the time that they're at least human.
Okay.
That's about as deep as I can get, though.
Yeah?
Yeah, because, there's guys that I've seen that look what I would have thought physically attractive and facially attractive, and then I'm like, what do you think of this guy? And you're like, he's hideous. And then there's other guys that I've shown you that are like, I would have thought are reasonably average, and you're like, oh my God, he's fucking stunning. I think it doesn't, who fucking knows? Like I said, 100% accuracy on whether they're human.
So you think if you were to pick a person for me, it would depend on which way the wind is blowing on that particular day? And
oh, yeah, and just in what mood you are with me. If you don't like, if you're not happy with me on that particular day and I find a dude that it wouldn't matter.
Really?
It could be a Grecan god and you would look at him and go, meh, he's all right. Just to be like, fuck you, Daryl.
Fuck you, Daryl.
Fuck you. Yeah.
Right. I would argue that women do have a type. I would argue that...
You don't have a type?
Interesting that you say that, because after I'm going to share your types, ladies and gentlemen. I received some feedback, some responses, because I did put this question out there. And then we're going to take a break, and then I'm going to tell you exactly my type at this very moment in time and what I believe my type is for both men and women.
Yeah, but today's date is just one day.
No, I've been thinking about this for about 3 weeks. So,
oh, really?
Yeah, so it's held fast.
Yeah, until... I don't know, reading that paper until your menstrual cycle happens or something. Let's just mansplain that for a minute.
All right, here we go. So I'm going to read your responses. So I asked... My responses? Not your responses, their responses.
Oh.
You, dear listener, your responses.
Okay, the listeners' responses.
Yeah, the listeners' responses.
Stop saying my responses.
I asked a question about whether or not you knew your type and whether or not you knew your partner's type. And so these are the questions. These are the answers. So,
like I said, 100% accuracy on whether they're human.
Okay. Power Cubal, they said, I can, with confidence, pick out the perfect fit for my husband 10 out of 10 times. Obviously, there's a lady responding. He wouldn't dare pick for me since he apparently thinks I'm ridiculously picky. 1 out of 10, him being the one. I do have a weird thing. Even I surprise myself at what gets me going at times. Or suddenly big nose. So that's from a lady. So,
So
if you're her husband, how the hell are you supposed to be the person navigating the dating sites, setting up the dates?
Could you pick my type?
We'll get there. We're doing our types later.
No, I'm asking you. You asked me already whether you could...
Yeah, I think I can.
Yeah, exactly. Said every woman ever.
All right, here we go. VT Mum 1313. I can pick out his type very easily. Kind of like another lady said on here. Breathing.
Oh, dude.
Savage.
Oh, man. That was like a pimp handing.
But more seriously, in his case, it's about personality more than a look. I've arranged a few play dates that turned out very well. On the other hand, God help me when he's picking for me. He doesn't think of himself as sexy, which he is, and so he judges all guys on what looks different from him. Even though I keep explaining he's hot as hell and he's my type, at least he has learned to never fix me up with a kid younger than my own sons.
Yeah, that ended on a bit of a downward spiral there.
Oh, I don't know. That's pretty good.
Oh, yeah, I mean, once again, though, woman, no chance,
cool.
Man.
Cool.
Yeah, I know you've got them lined up. You were waiting to stitch me up on this. Go,
I'm not stitching you up.
Yeah, yeah.
No.
I can stitch me
I'm
up.
not, though. After Colorado, kind of similar responses. We actually play a game in public and we'll guess if one of us would fuck someone who is in the grocery store, gym, or whatever.
We do this too. I never win.
It's the only game I win at.
Yeah.
We use code phrases.
What's the code, I wonder?
I don't know.
Totally going to fuck that person.
Code. Whilst there are characteristics we both tend towards, most of us have hooked up with a number of people who are none of these things. Personality really does go a long way. Mrs. AC likes hair, but has had a lot of success with bald men. Mr. AC used to think blondes didn't like him, and then at a party he hooked up with one. So we have types, we both know them, and we both know there's fun going outside your comfort zone. So they're trying to expand their comfort zones a little bit. See, I wasn't stitching you up.
Stitched me up.
I didn't. Okay, the Hardleys. After 15 years of enjoying the lifestyle together, good job, guys, I still don't have a good handle on Sweetie's type. except for being male. Personally seems to be her favourite indicator. Sorry, personality.
I figured.
Personality seems to be her favourite indicator with a healthy dose of fun outlook on life.
Okay.
You see? See what I'm saying?
Yeah, absolutely, because it's really easy to pick a healthy outlook on life from
By
a
a
distance.
dating profile. This is what I'm talking about. I feel like just generally guys are stitched up. Because if most of the guys, and I think the last time I did a poll on this, it was about 80% of the men were the people who were manning the dating site profiles or the apps or whatever, doing that initial...
Yeah, that's because if the ladies were manning it or womaning it, you just wouldn't get any dates.
You wouldn't get any dates?
No, because, I read their profile. I read their profile and they use the word "and" too much.
Yep.
We're not going to go out with them.
We're not going to do that anymore.
Yeah.
Right.
Oh, I read their profile, but they look too attractive for us. I read their profile. It was too long.
Too short.
I read their profile.
That's
It
too
was
short.
Too short, exactly.
Not grammatically correct.
Oh, did you see they left out the comma before the end? I mean, they're not an Oxford couple.
Yeah. So this next one is from ABQ2PHX, and they're from Chandler in Arizona.
Cool name.
Yes, I can identify her type in 8 out of 10 times. This guy's pretty confident. As Tequila said below, there are always outliers. Like all of us, it starts in the shallow end of the scale. Is he attractive? Think Sean Connery to mid to later years. How is he dressed? Does he throw on just a pair of shorts and a T-shirt, or did he actually take time to dress for success? Tall is better, but yes, the outliers show up occasionally. Then the most important part, does he engage? If the gentleman is talking to her but scanning the room, it's a fail. Right, that's actually a decent thing that they're talking about being a club right now. Me? Yes, she knows my type. I am a man after all, so I am pretty easy. I think we're stereotyping a bit here.
Why is that a stereotype?
I'll get there in a second. Personality over a particular body type. Low cut top is a huge bonus. Heels over flats. Confidence over coy. My biggest tell, like long, dark, curly hair. The whole wing person part, because I asked about this. Okay, so how are you supposed to be a wing person for somebody if you're at a club or whatever, like I said, dating site? Probably something we've not perfected. When her tell is obvious, I tend to give him or her some privacy and allow them to engage. Why do I think it's a bit of a stereotype? I actually discussed this a similar thing to this recently on the podcast episode where I was interviewing the monogamish marriage, because we were talking about orgasming and how when people talk about orgasms, they generally tend to say, guys can orgasm all the time, it's so goddamn easy, and women are like a puzzle piece and it's really, really difficult. I think in this circumstance, we also do that with men and women here, where we say women are super picky and, guys, she's breathing and she's human. Don't you think that's a bit of a
stereotype?
Don't you think that's a bit of a stereotype?
It is, but I just don't think the context was in that particular line that you read. Yes, it is a stereotype, of course. That's totally not the case in all cases, which rightfully places it as a stereotype. I think many men have things that are absolute no-goes for them, which includes me. I have things as well that I would absolutely not be interested in somebody if they fit X. And I'm not going to tell you what that is.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Hey, you suck. All right, let's hear from this one. So this is QE 2013. They're from Honolulu. We've actually mentioned them a few times in our podcast over the years, so g'day, guys. I'm terrible at identifying my wife's type by any objective measures. It's taken us quite a few years to fully realise this reality, but now that we're here, the onus for connecting has fallen more squarely on her shoulders, online and in person. I will routinely identify people that seem to fit what I think she would like, only to have them quickly dismissed. As she has taken more of an active role in the hunting and gathering, our success ratio has improved dramatically. At an in-person event, all it takes for her to whisper is a yes to me whilst looking or interacting with someone, and my wingman skills kick into gear. The best way I can sum up her type would be situational.
Yeah, more commonly known as nightmarish.
Well, but in their circumstances, they've flipped the scripts a little bit. Now she's looking after all the sites.
Yeah, well, I would happily let you do that, or happily have you do that. But let is not obviously not the right word. I would happily have you do that, but we simply wouldn't date anyone.
I think over the years we've bounced backwards and forwards. Like if we think about the start of our journey, and over the years we've kind of changed roles.
Let's think about how many times you've set up a date in the last 2 years.
Oh, recently? No, because I think it just got to the point where I was just so disheartened by the whole situation.
I am also disheartened.
That, you just eventually go, stuff it, All right, let's hear from two more. Midlifers GDX. His major turn on is women who need help in some way, whether they don't know how beautiful they are or sexy they are, or they need to be pampered, whatever that situation may be. Physical attributes usually just enhance the desires from there. Her, bad boys usually do not make the cut. Maybe she's not ovulating or whatever it said earlier.
Fucking hell, I'm glad you said that. I do not condone Kate's understanding of the ovulation.
Hey,
versus
it's from
bad boy.
the psychological
Oh,
journal.
yeah, I understand. It's from the mansplaining book of mansplaining.
Though she generally likes her playmates, her age or younger, personality is the key and always givers over takers. Humour, sarcasm, mystery, confidence are all pulses.
Cool.
But again, difficult to figure that out in a club situation or on a dating site. Okay, last one, here we go. Sebastian and Nicole from Phoenix, Arizona. I feel like my partner and I are completely different when it comes to type. I care a lot about personality connection rather than physical. If you can make me laugh and exchange flirty banter, it definitely piques my interest.
I think the only commonality amongst every single one of these is laughter or humour.
I was about to get to that, yeah. For the ladies, I may be more picky, actually, kind of looking for a bombshell, very feminine. So she's actually bisexual. So that was interesting that she said the difference between the two. And Mr., he is a lot more set on the physical side, but it's not a bad thing. We're just wired differently. He loves petite women, et cetera, et cetera. So they go on to talk about their more specifics in there. But yeah, I think it is an interesting, when you do read profiles and you see a lot of dating profiles where they've got the him and the her or what people are looking for, you'll find a lot of the time when it says her, it is definitely more about the ability to communicate really well, the ability to maintain eye contact, and the next two things that always pop in there are humour and flirtiness.
Confidence is the other one.
Oh, yes, confidence too. Why do you think that is, though? Why do you think women look for those traits versus going straight for the physical?
Okay, brace yourself for the emails on mansplaining. Why do I think that might be the case? I don't know. Maybe tradition. Maybe some women. God, how can I make this any broader to stop me from getting emails? There's perhaps a history where women are expected to find certain things attractive, like personality. Mm-hmm. Do all women have to think that a man's got a great personality, or can he just be hot and fuckable?
Right.
Like, is that a thing? Is it that?
So one of the reasons why I think this is so prevalent in women when they're looking for men, I have been contemplating this recently, and I don't think that we're told to see, don't judge a book by its cover, see more than what's just on the outside. You got to look inside and see personality. And I think as females as well, we are judged so heavily on looks as we progress through our lifestyle that we don't want to do that. We find it quite judgy. And so I think as a result of that, we believe or somehow feel, whether it's consciously or subconsciously, that by being too about the physical attraction, that we're shallow, that we're judging, that we're doing the wrong thing. And it feels almost like we shouldn't be doing that. And it feels bad to do that. And I think that sometimes that's probably why we've not even admitted it to ourselves, let alone our partners, that, hey, I want this exact type of person.
Yeah.
So that's my take on it. I honestly think that we're not giving ourselves the space, and that perhaps as we're growing up, we're not allowed as women to think about the physical attributes. We're not allowed to think about that because that's the wrong thing to do. Find a guy who's got a stable career. Find a guy who loves children. Find a guy who's going to be good to your parents. Not find a guy that you think is really attractive and that you want to have sex with.
Yeah, you could be right.
Anything else to add before we get on to our
No, definitely not.
No?
No. I mean, we're way too far down the mansplaining course for me to get involved in this.
Okay, well, here's a question. Why do you think that people just assume that men don't have standards, that men just would be happy with any woman?
I suppose, lines like any hole's a goal and things like that might be something to do with that.
So I just said to you about upbringing in particular that maybe it's because we're told not judge a book by its cover. Do you think that on the flip side of that, when men are growing up, they're told like, yeah, go out and get some, like, so hot, have all the sex, do all the things, like, yeah, go you. Do you think that then that's why?
Definitely a part of it.
It's that bragging rights of...
Well, it's definitely a part of it for sure. That, yeah, it is, yes. The answer is yes. That's definitely a part of it. I don't know how much more I can give you other than that because each person's upbringing is quite different, I would imagine. I don't remember ever actually, now that I think about it, discussing women's types or what they look like with my father, or do I ever remember him actually talking about what he was interested in? Not ever.
What about guys in university though?
No, university generally you've gone through the part where you're talking about. Yeah, it's generally high school in my experience that's where you're talking about
Her tits, her ass, her waist, her face.
When these things are new. You know, like when you start to discover that your penis is useful for more than just pissing out of.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I think at that point is when you might discuss that. But I don't know that there's a grouping of things. It's just more, you know, she might have, again, nice tits or a nice butt or something like that. Or I don't remember even people saying, I've heard people say that somebody's really pretty or beautiful or attractive, or hot, you know, but I've never heard anyone really say, you know, don't fuck the ugly chick or anything like that. You know, like I don't.
Do you ever think that's just inferred?
No, I don't. I think men generally will celebrate another man getting laid no matter who that person is. I don't think men are as judgy about that.
I was about to say, do you think that women are afforded the same sort of non-judgmental view?
I don't know because I am not a woman.
Yeah.
Maybe you should answer that.
I don't know about the attraction side because, again, I think yes, a little bit, but, you know, going through the men that I've slept with pre-Daryl and
Wait. You weren't a virgin when we got together?
Definitely not. Back then and thinking about my friends' reactions to it, I don't think it was ever about the attraction. It was probably more about, oh, what does he do for work? Making sure that, again, he has a successful career and he's on a good pathway and he makes decent money or something like that. Like it was never about, I never recall them asking about physical.
Me feel ugly.
No, I'm just saying. I just don't remember them ever doing that. I think it was definitely more on the, oh, what kind of car does he drive? Or what is this? What is that?
Really?
Yeah, I think so.
Man.
I don't know. Bad friends. I don't know what to tell you. Right, let's take a quick break and let's come back and let's talk about our own types.
I never thought about what my type is. So just making shit up.
So we're back. Daryl just admitted that he's never thought about his type before, so this is going to be an interesting segment.
It may be interesting. It may be really fucking shit.
Okay, I'm going to tell you my recent revelations about my type.
Okay. Should I take notes?
And again, this is just something
and then next week when we come back to our next podcast, I can explain to everyone about how that type didn't work when I found that exact person online.
I was just thinking about this recently, and the reason this popped into my head was I realised I have
a judgy bitch.
So I can think of 3 men that I am very attracted to right now, and I realised recently they all have very similar characteristics, which was kind
just as a side note, Kate's a monster. She just took 2 squeaky toys off Penny and put them on the desk. Penny's just run outside to try and catch it, and now she's back looking at Kate.
It's podcast time, not playtime.
Monster.
Okay, here's my types. For men, this is not any surprise to you, but tall.
Oh, yeah, that's a real shock.
Yeah, tall, lean. So I'm really interested in older, tall, lean men right now.
Right now?
Right now.
What's the date? Let's because that's a one-day thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm interested in tall, older, lean men who are successful.
Mm-hmm.
So very good communicators generally as well. And this is going to be really funny for you, but good table manners.
Fucking hell.
I know that's super specific, right?
It's super fucking snobby is what it is.
Well,
you're a fucking snob.
Am I?
Yeah. Tall, lean, successful, and used a knife and fork appropriately. That's the snobbiest list I've ever heard. It's fucking super snobby.
See, this is exactly what happens when women talk about the facts what the things that they are interested in.
No.
This kind of fucking judgment that's happening right now. This is why we don't talk up. This is why we don't speak up. We get this kind of bullshit judgment.
Of course.
Right here. See what's happening?
Just drink your coffee with your little pinky out. It's okay.
That's tea, you fucking animal.
Coffee.
Savage.
You can do it with a coffee as well.
So
you do it with a fucking raspberry sandwich if you want.
So that's my interest in men right now.
Right now.
That's right now.
Why do you keep adding right now?
Because
a type
I feel
continues.
The wind's changing outside.
You feel you're changing the day of your menstrual journey.
Yeah, it might happen. Who knows? And then I'm going for the bad boy.
Well, you didn't state whether they're a bad boy or a good boy.
I didn't state that. No. Again, just older, tall, lean.
What's older
successful?
Mean? Older than what? 18?
Older than me. I'm kind of thinking late 40s, mid to late 40s, early 50s.
Okay.
That's kind of where I'm at.
Yeah.
But in good order.
In good order.
Yeah.
What's good order mean?
Like lean and muscular.
So you're saying my nice little fat round belly right now is not your deal?
I mean, you wouldn't fit into that category.
Wow. That's where we're at, is it?
See what I'm talking about? The judgment again. Can't say what you want because you get fucking judged for it.
Yeah, okay.
Right?
Yep.
Okay. And for females,
Yeah.
this has been really interesting for you, I think, as well.
I don't think I'll ever have the chance to choose you a female.
Fuck no. You think choosing a man is hard for me. And actually...
No. Let me correct you. I think choosing a man for you is fucking impossible, not hard. Mm-hmm. Yeah. I may as well just throw a shoe into the crowd.
In one of the responses we read earlier, she spoke about her interest in women and that she's much more pickier for women.
Pickier?
And I have always said that about me. I've always said that generally for guys, I have been with all different kinds of guys. For women, I think I'm much more pickier, much more judgy.
It's just picky.
Pickier.
No, it's just picky.
You're picky. Pickier.
For somebody who needs a man to use a knife or fork correctly, I mean, you got to work on that.
Yeah, I don't think I do. Because this guy doesn't care that I say pickier.
Okay.
He doesn't care about it. It's in the list.
Oh, really?
Yeah, good table manners, comma, doesn't care about Kate's use of vocabulary.
Oh, somebody ate a thesaurus for breakfast.
Okay, so here's my herd list.
Okay, go.
Here's the kind of woman that right now, as of today, the 11th of October at, I don't know, what is it, 8:30 p.m., this is the kind of woman that I'm interested in.
Yep.
She's fun.
It's changed already, hasn't it?
She's fun. Uh-huh. She brings out the carefree version of me. Because there's an element of Kate, there's a subset of Kate within the Kate that really likes to be a little bit silly and fun and run around and be playful. But it doesn't happen very often.
That's a subset?
Yeah, it's in there. It's like to the left of my right rib.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Just above your hatred.
So, no, that takes up a whole leg. So I want somebody who's going to bring out that carefree version of me. I want her to be pretty and a little feminine, but not too much. Because then I'll judge her. No, I won't really. No, I'm just not interested in somebody that takes like 2 hours to get ready. I don't like it.
2 hours is what it takes you to get ready.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
So that's the kind of woman that I'm interested in right now. I think, again, and you know what's interesting about all of this? The physical attributes? Average. Don't want them too short, too tall, too slender, too big. Average. Right across the board. That's what I'm looking for.
So you want an average swinger? Badum tush.
Badum tush. That's my list. What do you think?
Yeah, I mean, it's ridiculous, but I understand it all for now.
Yeah.
3 minutes from now. Mm-hmm. When I find Little Miss Average online and say, what do you think of this woman, Kate? You'll be like, nah, too short.
So, what are your types?
Types?
What's your type?
My type. That's a good question.
Thanks. I came up with it all on my own.
So generally, I think somebody who's reasonably fashion conscious, so not and they're when I say fashion conscious, that doesn't mean today's fashion. That may mean like, you know, slightly goth in their fashion type or slightly emo or like a whole lot of different types of fashion. That's where I sit, you know, but they make a positive choice on a regular, like on a daily basis as to what they're going to wear. Outside of that, they have to be reasonably intelligent. And again, that doesn't mean book smarts. That just means that I can hold a conversation with them without them finishing every sentence with the words
or like.
Yeah.
Ugh.
Hey, my type.
Sorry.
So yeah, certainly somebody who can finish a sentence without giggling every time and has something to say, has an opinion to offer, and is totally allowed to disagree with my opinion. I find people who disagree with my opinion actually quite interesting, provided they're willing to have a conversation about it without getting angry. That's where the problem normally starts. Outside of that, I'm not really a hair color person. Like, I don't have a particular shade. If I was going to pick anything, I would say probably a redhead, but that's probably just because it's different rather than, you know, there's less of them around, but that's not really a thing for me. In terms of body tape, body tape, or just the body type even. Maybe you could use body tape to get to this body type. Body type would be generally somebody who has curves. So I like a waist on a woman. They can have broader hips. They can have broader shoulders. They can have large breasts or small breasts. But as long as there's a definition between where their butt finishes and their breasts begin. That's something that's of interest to me. Don't really care about size. I've been with ladies who are large or small, but I think somebody who can own their shape and is not lying to themselves about what their shape is to try and own it is all I look for. So somebody who's reasonably interesting. That's it.
So you look for personality? Is that what you're trying to say? Personality and humour?
No.
Sorry, I was just trying to...
I gotcha. Yeah, but no.
No? Yeah, but no?
No, I mean, personalities in there, but that's kind of the intelligence piece that I mentioned. And again, intelligence can be many things. Humour could be one of them. It's also a form of intelligence. So
if you were to look around a room of, say, 100 women, how many women would fall into that category that you just discussed?
Probably 50% at best, I'd say.
In that same room with 100 men, how many of those men would fall into the category that I just discussed?
3.
This is why people keep saying women are picky.
Yeah, but...
Because I think that...
But that's because you are.
When we do think about what we want, I think that it's either way too broad so that you can't even pinpoint it, so your partner, as I said before, doesn't even know what you're interested in.
Sorry, no, I'm gonna say that this is entirely wrong, the whole premise, because picky literally means your inability to fucking pick or an ability to decide on something that is unfindable.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
it's...
This is why.
Yeah.
This is exactly why.
Hey, just FYI. Toy 3.
Oh, my God,
Toy
Penny.
3, she's bought in now.
She's bought him Toy 3.
Yep.
Look, all right, we're wrapping up. Jesus. Judgy. Do you want
to know what Penny's favourite is?
Anything with a squeak.
Anything with a squeaky note.
Does my type surprise you?
Not at all.
Okay, cool.
But I can tell you right now that if I find your exact fucking type, you'll say that his scrotum's too wide or something.
Can I add in, like, nice tight balls into my type?
Is it just nice tight balls? So I need to now be auditing dudes online. Excuse me, sir. Could I just ask for just a photo of your scrotum, not of your whole penis and everything? We don't want a cock shot because that's just weird. But just your balls.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I like them tight.
Okay, so I feel like you've missed out a whole lot of things here.
What do you feel like I've missed out?
Well, you've failed to mention beard or no beard. Yeah, there's part of your type.
Well, I was going to say about the hair and glasses and everything else situation. Glasses, don't mind. Hair, don't mind. Facial hair, sticking point. I've been with guys now with, like, trimmed beards and stuff like that. But like a huge beard? Yeah, no.
You mean like a ZZ Top sort of fucker?
He's the guy with the big...
Yeah.
Nah.
It's actually a band.
Yeah, okay, yeah.
Look it up.
Yeah, no.
Magical music made by that particular band. That's not true. I don't even know what ZZ Top sings. Anyway, so, okay. Well, I mean, what else though? I mean, you've said.
What do you want? Shoe size? Like what? Well, that's pretty good. That's what I'm interested in right now. I don't care about their
intelligence.
Yeah.
What about confidence?
He's successful.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean he's confident.
It means he's got to be like pretty intelligent.
It doesn't mean any of those things.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what's your judgment on success?
I don't know. Stop asking me questions.
Exactly.
Stop asking me stupid questions about my type.
Okay.
To try and help you
understand what my type is.
Stop asking me these ridiculous questions.
And this is why I recently said I'm giving up on trying to find us dates.
Yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So
because I think the type is a problem and it changes regularly for you. And also outside of that, I think a couple type becomes even more fucking difficult.
It does. It is. Right, let's say thank you very much to our newest patrons. So thank you very much to Carl D, Tom, Trey, Friday Night's PA couple. Thank you so much for joining us on Patreon. And, of course, thank you to all of our existing Patreon members. We really appreciate the hell out of you. We got a voicemail.
I saw it.
Well, how'd you see it?
Because I was watching voicemails the other day.
You were watching voicemails?
Yeah.
Yeah, I did get an email the other day asking how they can watch our podcast. I always like that. Brings me a little bit of joy every time I get that.
Yeah.
I'm going to play a voicemail. I'm going to play it. Because I want to talk to you about something that's in there. So I'm going to play a voicemail. I'm really excited about this. Ready?
Let's go.
All right, let's do it.
Hi, Kate and Daryl. I just wanted to send you both a thank you from John and Karen. We had a wonderful time at a Temptations resort just about 2 weeks ago and became intrigued about the swinging lifestyle. My wife and I have been together for 36 years, and we reinvent our relationship every 7 to 10. I want to thank you for your guidance in helping us to reinvent yet again. We're not only listening to your podcast, but we're also reviewing a number of your suggestions, most notably the Playboy television series Swing. We will watch an episode and talk about how we feel afterwards. I want to thank you both for helping get us started on this journey. Neither one of us know where it's going to end, and frankly, that's part of the fun. You both have a wonderful day and take care of yourselves. Goodbye.
So, first of all, thanks, John and Karen, for the voicemail. Thanks for listening to the podcast. But more importantly, 36 years together, they reinvent themselves. Did you hear him say that?
Yeah.
I like that.
Yeah.
I really like the fact
Maybe we
that...
should do that. Maybe we should reinvent ourselves.
You want to reinvent ourselves? Yeah. Into what?
I can be the one who chases the squeaky toys around.
No, I don't like this game. I don't like it. I thought it was really, really good because, and I'll use a business analogy.
I was going to send Penny to fucking work. Get that dog work and she can make some fucking money for a change.
Yeah, earn your own pork, goddammit. When people are in business, they often reevaluate and just think, are we on the right path? What should we do? How are we going? And it's interesting to me
Get their strategy aligned.
Get their strategy.
We need to get the marketing. Our problem is we don't have enough marketing out there.
We don't have enough marketing?
No, obviously, because we don't have any dates.
We're doing the wrong verticals. What's happening here? I liked it. I like the fact that they reinvent their relationship. I like the fact that they actively talking about it and actively thinking about it and doing something about it. It's really good. I think that, time goes so goddamn quickly that we forget to do any of that. I liked it. I listened to that and I was like, good on you, John and Karen.
It's about having a strategy.
Good
strategy for life.
You guys are aces. So.
I think it's. I can only admire the foresight to create a strategy.
Mm-hmm.
You can't even create a strategy around which man you'd want to take home.
No, I can't.
And if it comes down to the woman, it's just fucking impossible.
Here's what I want to know. I want to know whether or not they do a SWOT analysis on the current on their current relationship.
Crikey, what? I don't even want to think about you doing a SWOT analysis of our relationship.
We should do that. That'll be a bit funny.
No, I think you should do it. I reckon it's going to be really lopsided.
What, you reckon?
Yeah.
Into the threats and weaknesses?
Yeah, I think you're going to be right. I think you're going to be heavy on that side of the 2x2 for sure.
Maybe.
It's going to be real heavy.
Nah.
It's going to roll over.
So
it won't spell SWAT anymore.
Here's my takeaway for this episode, by the way. Let's do a little bit of a takeaway. My takeaway is to
take all of the toys off Penny before you start podcasting.
Well, there's that as well. Don't open the door and let your dog out of the room. That's another thing. No, my takeaway, and hopefully a lesson.
Sorry, you just want to lock the dog in a room. For those of you who thought I was joking.
We're in the room.
For those of you who thought I was joking when I said Kate is a monster, did you hear that? She's just going to lock the dog in the room forever.
We're in the room with her. She's in the room with here. The toys were in the lounge room. You let her out.
You're a monster.
My takeaway, my lessons learned is I want you guys to actively sit down on your own and think about what your actual type is. Think about the physical characteristics. Think about the personality traits.
Do a drawing. If you're an artist. If you're not an artist, don't.
Make the individual out of Play-Doh.
Or just the important body parts.
Charades. You can do charades.
You can do charades.
No, think about it. I want you to think about it, and then I want your partner to do the same thing, and then I want you guys to share that.
I think it's a great idea, although I think you need to do your drawing in pencil.
Just to rub it out.
Yeah.
Change it.
I'm just going to change this. Oh, they just got shorter, boys.
We'll just get a whiteboard, babe. It's fine.
Yeah.
Easier to rub off. No, I'm serious. I think that'd be a good takeaway for you guys. Good lessons learned is the fact that your partner likely does not know because you don't know, and how can they be expected at a club or on a dating site to find people that may interest you if you're not giving them the information and the tools to hand? So do it. It's a good activity.
So now I have to be one of those husbands that asks people how tall they are.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's...
Just go up and stand next to them in a club and just judge.
No, online. All of this stuff in a club's easy because you can actually fucking talk to them and understand it's so much more simple. Let's go to that club that's near here. Oh, wait, there isn't one.
Rightio, guys, that has been episode 137. Women Have No Type. Yes, clickbait title, and I'm not ashamed of it. I'm not ashamed of that. I did it on purpose. So thanks to Daryl for coming along.
I don't even understand how it's clickbait. I don't get it.
Because it's like women have no type, and people are going to be like, I got a type, listen to this, and then...
Wow. We need to reassess the marketing component of what you're doing.
You just said we don't have enough marketing out there.
Yeah, I know, but not all marketing is good marketing, no matter what they do.
Hey, it's me. So that's it.
So I think we all understand now why we can't get a date.
Episode 137, Wanderlust Swingers podcast. Thank you so much, guys, for listening. And if you would like to join our Patreon, head over to patreon.com/swingingdownunder. We'll see you guys next time.
Ciao.